Picture this. It's the late 90s and I'm 4 or 5 years old, clutching a pillow, blissfully unaware that my childhood innocence is about to be liquidated. I'm watching The Lion King, and then it happens. The gorge, the dust, the wildebeest. I watched Mufasa, the king, the goats, who is obviously a lion, fall off that cliff and get trampled into 2D dust while Simba cried out. That was my first traumatic experience. Forget falling off a bike. I was emotionally pulverized by a series of hand-painted celluloid sheets moving at 24 frames per second. Dad! But that right there is the power of animation. It's not just cartoons. It's a medium designed to manipulate your soul. Well, wait a minute. This kind of explains why I like drawing animals. Well, damn. An epiphany mid-scripts. Today we're going deep and we're tracking the evolution of animation through 5 distinct ages. The stone, the bronze, the metal, the golden, and the one we're currently surviving, the AI age. Grab whatever drink is trending when you watch this video, because brothers, it's about to be a long ride. The Stone Age, Shadows and Sorcery. Before we had iPads and graphic cards, we had fire. The Stone Age of animation isn't about pixels, it's about lies and deception. In 1659, a guy named, let me get my notes here, Christian Huygens invented the magic lantern. He lit an oil lamp inside a wooden box and projected screaming skeletons onto the walls. People didn't think,
oh, yeah, cool projection.
They thought they were being haunted. It was the birth of the screen, and it was terrifying. Come to think of it, this Huygens guy was kind of a weirdo.
Freak!
This era also discovered the visual flaw we all have called persistent vision. It's a glitch in the human biology where your brain holds onto an image for a fraction of a second after it's gone. In other words, when you look at things, your brain basically takes mental images and fills in the gaps with motion blur. Animation has basically been us exploiting that glitch in our own brains for over 400 years. Now, that's a long time. Animation clearly doesn't have commitment issues.
The Bronze Age.
By the 1900s, animation was basically a business, but it was too slow. Then came the Bronze Age and the cell process. Before this, if an animator wanted to animate a scene, he would have to draw every single frame, both of the characters and the background. Can you imagine how stressful this could have been? It sounds like a torture method straight out of the circles of hell. Instead of redrawing everything, they use transparent sheets. You could paint the background once and only move the character. If you use layers in softwares like Photoshop and Animate, you kind of understand how this works. The Metal Age. And then came the Metal Age. This was the Disney era. Snow White, Cinderella, Treasure Island, if you know ball, you know ball, and of course, The Lion King. This was the era that gave birth to these Disney legends, and they took the factory model of the Bronze Age and added a soul. Ollie Johnson and Frank Thomas. These legends codified the 12 principles of animation, the Animator's Bible. And if you don't follow these, an old school animator will appear in your room in the night while you sleep and break your stylus. We're talking squash and stretch. If your character hits the ground and doesn't flatten like a pancake, you failed. But remember, keep the volume the same. Anticipation. This is the wind-up. If I'm going to punch you, I'm going to pull my fist back first, then I hit you. If I do it instantly, that's not animation. That's a glitch in the matrix. You know what? Explaining these 12 principles is going to take quite some time. I'm going to link you guys to a video that explains the 12 principles of animation, and I'm just going to, list them out here. So yeah, follow through, staging, straight ahead versus pose to pose, slow in and slow out, arcs, secondary action, timing, exaggeration, solid drawing, appeal. Without these rules, your animation is like uncooked chicken or rice. Nobody wants that. And with them, you get life, you get weight, you get the feeling of Mufasa actually hitting the ground. Meanwhile, in Japan, while Disney spent millions to make sure a blade of grass moved realistically, Japan was over there like, what if we just don't move the character at all? Osamu Tezuka was the king of this cost-cutting masterpiece. He realized that if a character looked cool enough and the music slaps, you only need to animate their mouths. And this was why every anime character back then spent like 5 minutes screaming intently while a static background zoomed in and out. That's not lazy. It's cinematic minimalism. Cinematic minimalism. Minimalism. Osamu Tezuka looked at Mickey Mouse and created Astro Boy. He gave him massive glittering eyes. Why? Because big eyes are a cheat code for emotion. This became the DNA of the entire anime industry. This era gave birth to the greats.
Dragon Ball Z.
They perfected the 3-episode Scream. Wow, he's still going, huh?
That's some big long boy.
They would save the budget on static shots so they could afford 5 minutes of frame-shattering animation. And by 1995, Ghost in the Shell arrived, mixing 2D and 3D into a gritty masterpiece that made the West realize, yeah, this animation stuff isn't just for kids. And Akira...
Leave me alone!
That was the ultimate mic drop. It proved that 2D animation could be as cinematic, gritty, and mature as any live-action movie. It set the bar of detail that most studios still today are still afraid to touch. Except for that Akira slide. Everybody touches that. The Golden Age. Then it happened. The Golden Age hit. The gatekeepers lost their keys. We moved from physical cells to flash and toon boom. And suddenly, a kid in a bedroom could have more views than a Saturday morning cartoon. This was the rise of the indie legends. This changed the industry's power dynamic instantly. You didn't need $1 million contract from a network anymore. Platforms like YouTube and Instagram exploded. Animation popularity didn't just come from big budgets. It came from relatability. If you could tell a funny story with a stick figure, you were a star. I should probably add this, that animation went crazy around this era because most animators were already masters in their craft before getting hired. This is where I come in. I learned animation in 2019. It was the peak of the digital era. The softwares were perfect. The tutorials were infinite, and I was definitely putting in the work. I spent years hunched over my tablet, fighting with line weights and mastering the 12 principles, frame by frame. I was building my own one-person studio, creating series like Brother Pig and 3024. I felt ready. I thought this is how it's going to be forever. I was finally there. I was a master of my old ways and of the new world. And then the world shifted.
The AI age.
Imagine learning how to drive a manual car perfectly and the next day everybody gets self-driving Teslas. Yeah, that was the transition into the AI age. It started as a joke. AI can't draw a hand with 5 fingers to save his life. We laughed. But then Sora and Vio arrived. And for a solo creator, that was like an existential slap in the face. It was improving at a rate that was frankly kind of scary. And look, I'm not going to lie to you. I've used a little bit of AI here and there. In 2026, you don't just fight the tide. You learn how to surf. It's scary because it was no longer who can draw the straightest line. It was about who had the best vision. We are moving to a future where animation is becoming a product of pure ideas. The old school tools are becoming less and less relevant. The AI tools are becoming so powerful that the art isn't about the execution anymore. It's about the curation. It's about being the director of a machine that has seen every frame of Akira and The Lion King and asking it to build something new while using only old ideas. F you AI.
The uncertain future.
Technology doesn't have a pause button. If those original shadow magicians saw us right now, they wouldn't ask about frame rates. They would think we were witches and wizards, and they would start stacking firewood. They would definitely burn us at the stake while we are waving our pen display tablet pen trying to explain this is not a magic wand. And they will be like, that's exactly what a warlock would say.
Get the torch.
So what's the lesson? The tools change, the ages pass, but the trauma of a well-told story stays forever. Thanks for watching. I'm Dan Brown, the artist. Stay human, stay magical, and remember,
Burn the witch. Burn the witch.
Wow, that was quite a video. I don't usually make videos like this, but not only do I like animating, I'm also passionate about the concept of animation itself. And once in a while, I do like to share my passion about animation with you guys. So like, comment, and subscribe if you liked this video and want to see more. And if you didn't like this video, say like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.